Uh, I don't even know where to start. My name is John. I live in Wilkes-Barre. I've made a couple other videos. I'm making this video now because I believe that God, Jesus, wants me to warn people. But I feel like I need to kind of qualify. So, I'm going to tell first of all the experiences that I've had with God. First of all, I am a former addict. I am a convicted criminal. I've spent the majority of my life in jail, and the rest of it screwed up. I have felt God's presence more times than I can count, actually. Lately, especially, a lot. I feel Him every day, constantly. Anybody out there who has felt Him, who has really, truly felt God, knows that when it's Him, you have no doubt. There is no other explanation or definition. You get this, like a chill. Every hair on your body stands up. Your eyes automatically fill with tears. And in here, you could feel Him. It's the most beautiful, peaceful feeling. You can't even describe it. I had made another video about this. I had an experience where I actually saw heaven. But there are 4 or 5 other times that I have felt Him. I'm going to tell you about them now, just quick. Just so you know that why I believe what I believe and why I'm saying what I'm saying. The first one that I clearly remember is when I was still screwed up. My grandmother had taken me. I told her I was going to pay somebody, and I copped. On the way back, we stopped at a grotto, which is just where they have all the statues of the saints and Jesus and Mary. And my grandmother's Catholic. I'm not. I'm just a Christian. And then she decides to stop at this church. So we go into the church, and I don't know any of the Catholic rituals. I don't pretend to. I don't understand them. They're wrong. It's blasphemy, idolatry. It's just wrong. I'm sorry if I'm probably losing people already, but whatever. Truth hurts. I was standing over in front of a statue of what I think was the Virgin Mary. I'm not sure. And I was praying. I was praying to Jesus. And I guess I was being pretty sincere. But at the same time, in my pocket was what I was going to use to get high when I left. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this feeling of peace that I had never ever felt before in my life just filled my whole body, like I was at ease, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. And I knew right then, I heard a voice telling me, let go. Just let go. And I had my hand in my pocket, and I'm debating, like, I knew right then, like, I don't have to do this. I could walk out of here and throw this stuff and be done. But I wasn't done. I wasn't ready. My eyes were all teared up and everything. I remember walking out of the church with my grandmother and going back and forth in my head. Do I do it? Do I don't? Do I throw it, toss it, keep it? I made a decision to hold on to it, that I was going to get high. And I remember squeezing it in my hand, in my pocket. And as soon as I did, that feeling of peace that was through my whole body, through every cell, my toes, what little hair I had at the time, the whole works. It was like somebody poured lead into me. And I don't know, I'm sure you've all lifted lead. It's not a light metal. It's very, very heavy. It sank me. I sank. It filled my whole body like the most unbelievable, unbearable weight. I just realized this now. It never even dawn on me. He would have carried that for me. That's why I was so light. I had the intent of making this video to qualify as why I feel that I have the right to get on here and say the stuff that I feel that I'm going to say. But you know what? I don't think that's right. Take it for what it's worth. Believe me or don't. The time is up. Our Father is coming. Now, if you don't know Jesus, you better find somebody who does. Pick up a Bible, Google it, look it up, get to know him before it's too late. Everybody thinks of God as this massive presence that just sits on his throne handing out judgments and giving people cancer and killing kids and causing... That's not it. God is love, and that's all he is. On November 17th of 2003, I saw heaven. I've been trying to think for days of a way to explain it so that people would understand, but there is no way to understand it. The best thing that I could come up with is it was like a picture-in-picture on a TV. Over 3 days, all these small things started to happen, and it ended up with me getting hit on the head. That's what it felt like. It was like somebody went that fast, and as it hit me, everything that was in me that was wrong was gone. Hate, sorrow, misery, rage, depression, suicidal, homicidal, everything was gone. It was replaced with the most beautiful, unconditional feeling of love and peace. I've asked him 1,000,000 times. Like, that was why, because after that, I lost it again. Because I didn't appreciate it, my pride got in the way. I've asked him, like, why me? I didn't want that. But it doesn't matter. That's what he wanted. And that's what I'm doing. I cried these tears that burned my face like mace. Because everything that was rotten in me, he took. It was gone. What he replaced it with was love. Everybody who's going to see this has a family member, or if not a family member, a pet, someone that they love. That love is nothing in comparison. If everybody in the world could feel what I felt for 2 seconds, the world would not be in the state it's in. After that original moment, about 5 minutes later, I was walking, and I had this thing pull on me, like I needed to turn around. And when I turned around, what I saw was heaven. I didn't see pearly gates or St. Peter standing there, or cherubs and angels, or my dead uncles and aunts and my father, none of that. It was like looking at the sky, but there was another section. I don't know how else to explain it. It was like I could still see the trees and everything in this spot of the sky, but it was like there was just another spot. Like it was like this, and heaven was just right here, just this spot in the sky that opened up, and the feeling that came out of it was love. And that's all it was. It filled me to the point where if it didn't stop, I felt like I would explode. It was the most beautiful, perfect thing ever. And that's all he is. Everybody knows that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. But the way to have a relationship with him is to personalize it. And I didn't do that for a long time. But now, when I think about it and I talk to him and I pray, he died on the cross for my sins. He died on the cross for all the times I walked in the stores and walked out with everything. He died for all the burglaries that I committed, all the times that I blasphemed his name, disrespected my parents, hurt the people I love. That's why he died. He willingly got up on that piece of wood and let them beat him and put crowns of thorns on his head, stick nails through his feet and his hands, so that one day I could go home? Me. I didn't deserve it. Nobody did. That's how much he loved us. Because he knew that one day I would need him. That's why he did it. I had another experience on August 7th of 2008. I was in Camp Hill, which is a classification prison in Pennsylvania, which is where you go before you go to your home prison. I was serving 16 to 60 months for breaking into cars and stealing purses. I had already served 2 years in the county prison, and this day I had just copped. I'd been getting Vicodin ESs that day. And I stood in my cell with my drugs in my hand, looking out the window, watching this sunset, this beautiful orange, perfect sunset. And I was watching it reflect off a razor wire. Excuse me. I don't even remember really praying. All I remember thinking is, excuse me. All I remember thinking is, I've been in jail for 2 years, and I am the exact same person that I was on the street. And out of nowhere, that feeling of peace just hit me. I even stopped biting my nails that day. I bit my nails since I was 5 years old. And this happened in 2008, so how old was I? I don't know. I was in my 30s. 20-some years biting my nails, trying to stop. Could never stop. Just stopped. No reason. Just, he took it. Took it right away from me. I sat up on my top bunk and cried, with my cellie underneath me. And then I took my will back again. I don't remember the exact date of this, but I would bet any money if I could, there would have been 7s in it, because everything that he does always has 7s. I don't know why. I don't understand it. I don't question it. It's just how it is. People look at me like I'm nuts, but hey, whatever. Don't care. I've been thought of as worse. I was walking back to my block, and I was in jail almost 4 years by then, and I had had enough. I was lonely, I was homesick, I was sad, depressed, miserable, sick inside, just had it. And when you're in jail, you are never, ever, ever alone. If you get a break from your cellie and he goes to the yard, there's still people kicking their doors, screaming and yelling, people upstairs above you beating on the desks, guards walking by your doors. You are never, ever alone. Especially when you go to Chow. I was on H block. Wow. Sorry. It's just the H, the shape, H. Anyway. When you go to Chow, 1 block ago, which there's like 100 and some, 200 people on each block. 1 block ago, 10 minutes later, another block ago, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm walking back, and I was just feeling done. I was done. Spiritually drained. I had had enough. I just wanted to go home. And this guard that was out, there's a little booth in between the 4 blocks. He walks into the booth, and it dawns on me, like, where is everybody? There's not a single person out here. Nowhere. Which is never, ever, ever happens. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this breeze comes. And I could feel him.